what I'm going to do is use a little mini roller. It's just a 1-inch mini roller with a 1/4-inch nap. And the reason I'm using this is very often, if you aren't very experienced in painting, it's difficult for people to use a brush and get an even application. It tends to be thick and then thin, and it takes a little while and some practice to get good brush work. If you are already an accomplished painter, you certainly could brush it on. What I like to do is teach people how to roll it on and lay it off with the brush. So what we do is we just give it a little dunk, and then I always roll it forward. If you're using a bucket with a cage, roll it down. If you roll it back, it will spatter on you. So I'm going to just roll this out so that it's evenly applied on the roller. And I always work the cabinet from the inside out. So you're going to first do the inset panel. And the reason I'm using the roller is so that we can get an even application on, and then I'll lay it off in the direction of the grain with the brush. It saves a lot of time versus dunking the brush and trying to move around. I really like to make sure I get it in those corners. And something I think is very important for the decorative finisher, if you are doing cabinet work, if you aren't spraying it, you need to have an art brush to work out the corners and then offload that brush so that you don't have little drips in your edges. It will make your work look a lot more professional. Make sure you've filled in all the gaps. And removed all the goops. So now that the inside is done, if you have a little hair, just lift it out and then lay it off again. Now I'm going to do the outer rails and stiles. So what I will do if I'm working on a project is I roll out the rails first. Actually, you can roll the whole thing. If it's a really large door, you may want to do smaller segments at a time. But you want to do your horizontal rails first, and then come down and lay off the stiles. That way it will look just like the seam of the wood grain that's already on the piece. Now I'm going to go through and just, once again, remove any little excess. That I got on the door. And now I'm going to just really lightly, I don't need a lot for the side. So you'll probably need 2 coats if you're doing a cream. I have had a lot of success with some of the darker bases where I've only needed to do 1 coat, or maybe 1.5 coats. This green base, we were able to accomplish this in 1 coat and then kind of a whisper coat in a few little areas. But the dark colors really had amazing coverage. Very opaque, no little holidays. So I'm going to take a quick break and blow dry this, and then we can move on and glaze it. Okay, so you've learned how to do an antiqued painted finish, how to take that into a weathered wood finish, and we've done a stained and glazed finish. So really these techniques can be intermixed, worked on any surfaces. One thing I do want to show you, the weathered wood, I have another sample here that's a little bit different. We did the same exact treatment, but we started with a darker base coat, really kind of a salmon coral color, so it takes on more of a mahogany look. We also distressed the wood before we painted it with a router and a nail awl, and just created some wormholes and some weathering. Also, we clear coated it with a satin. So while these dry with a very matte sheen, because the glaze is a finish coat in itself, if you have someone who wants a little bit of a shinier surface, this has a little more bounce to it. We did this in the satin. You can use any water-based varnish or Verathane, works great. One thing I'm really liking to use, especially on my lighter samples, is the Modern Masters Master Clear. Now the Master Clear was actually designed to go over their metallic paint collection. And it's exterior rated, it has a UV blocker, so it's really, really good for the lighter surfaces because it won't yellow. But it's very durable. One thing to remember, however, if you use the Master Clear, it really is a final coat. So you're not going to be layering over other colors. If you want to do that, then use the Dead Flat Varnish or the Modern Masters Satin Varnish, which you can get in retail stores. What else? I think that about covers it. This has a satin on it as well. This has been clear coated in the Modern Masters Satin Varnish. And then this has no varnish on it, just the furniture cream, which does dry to a hard sheen. So I hope you had fun and you have confidence to go do your own project. You'll be really successful, and this glaze is such a dream to work with. You won't believe how easy it is to transform your cabinets into something really rich and beautiful. So thank you very much, and just let us know if you have any questions. We're here at artisticlivingstudio.com. Bye.